Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Mr. Abdel Rahman, writer and journalist and political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Hello to you and the dear viewers.
Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Abdurrahman, now the meeting between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the head of the Greek Kopolozos group on the, and he was briefed, the president, on the project of the electricity linkage with Europe, with the attendance of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and also the Minister of Electricity, Mohammed Shakir, and also a number of senior officials. How did you see the importance of this cooperation between Egypt and Greek?
Continuing the most important and strategic cooperation between Egypt and Greece, our friends, dear friends in Europe, which has started in a strong way since centuries before, and reconnected and reestablished in the most strong way through the presidency of Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Our friends in Greece are our associates in too many projects, gas projects, power projects. With cooperation with our counters in Greece, we have established a very important and great strategic project for power that helped Egypt to be an international central power or a base, an international base for power connecting the two continents, Europe and Africa. Of course, we have this cooperation along with other lines of cooperation between Egypt and Greece, historical, strategic, economically, even militarily. We have a mutual understanding in strengthen the communication and the cooperation in the Mediterranean Sea towards any hostile moves or hostile actions from other powers or other countries. I'm sure this is a very important step and a positive move towards a fruitful future for our both nations in Egypt and in Greece.
Yes. So, Mr. Abdurrahman, how do you see Egypt's transformation into the clean energy and the state's keenness on transforming the state to clean energy?
Transformation of our economy and our industry, according to the international modern measures for power usage, in the most safe way, in the most safe methods to prevent any negative circumstances or results of the traditional power stations. We had took a long steps and great steps towards establishing that new strategy for enlarging and expanding and remoderning our industries in the field of power, whether the green energy, whether the gas projects that are being established according to the most modern measures for using those powers for the safety of our nations in Egypt and nations in counter countries. We have followed the most protecting measures to make our industries in the field of power and gas projects and green energy projects going side by side with counter projects in the friendly and the associating countries like Greece and other countries, of course.
Yes, Mr. Abdurrahman, also, how do you weigh the cooperation between Egypt and the European Union in the fields of renewable energy and electricity?
exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Egypt as the base and the gate, the main gate to Africa, and the main gate, the main link between the Africa continent and the European continent. We are the leaders in Africa, and we are connecting our lines, our projects, along with Europe, along with our brothers in Africa. We have that cooperation with the EU in the field of power. As I told you, this is a very important step for Egypt, for the economical strategic project, for Egypt to be the central power station, connecting two continents, and even more with three continents, with Asia, with our cooperations with countries like Iraq and Jordan. We have that trade line with Iraq and Jordan. We have those too many lines of cooperation and line of power between Egypt and Europe that makes Egypt regaining its own position as a leader, as a leading power in the region.
Yes, Mr. Abdel, during the meeting, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have stressed Egypt's keenness in turning into clean energy and also to achieve economic and environmental benefits from the clean energy. So the President always directs to boost also the green hydrogen projects. So how did you see this?
Well, of course, such important projects and measures of green energy and renewable energy sources had helped Egypt to be a pioneer in the field of new modern project, strategic projects that we have praised, that we have took a hold in our last summit of the COP 27 that made Egypt very significant and historical summit that was held in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh 2 years ago. And I believe that such projects that help the economical and the industrial projects in the field, the field of power, that can upgrade our standards with dealing with the renewable power sources, as long as we are connecting and cooperating with the leading powers in this field in Europe, that can narrow the gap between Egypt and the whole continent of Africa, between Egypt and Europe, and connecting even more our projects to be in one central circle for powers that can be very helpful in avoiding conflicts and opening the horizons for peaceful cooperation between nations in Egypt and in Europe.
Yes, so Mr. Abdel, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Mr. Amr Abdel, political analyst, journalist, and writer. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. I really had the pleasure to have this phone with you. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break, and I'm going to be back with you.